Welcome to the place where brains collide with science, wit, and a nerdy vibe. I'm Dr. Angel. Let's dive in where psychology meets a clever spin. Stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy.
Have you ever found yourself telling yourself or other people these words? I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I get that job promotion. I'll be happy when the debt is paid off. I'll be happy when we get a new house. I'll be happy when the kids are all in college. I'll be happy when I'm retired. I'll be happy when I lose 20 pounds or can fit in this size clothes. Or I'll be happy when, and this we could sit here all day with the I'll be happy wins, because there's so many things that can go in that blank. But if that is you, you are in the right place today. Today, we are going to be breaking down the happiness myth. And we're going to be talking about how we can stop chasing happiness and find happiness in our moments, in our everyday life, in the here and now. This week in the counseling room, and actually over the last few weeks in the counseling room, I've had numerous conversations with people who gave me that exact line. Dr. Angel, I'm grinding it. I'm putting in 18-hour days. I am doing this. I am not having fun now. I am saving all the money to pay down the debt, or we're just pushing through. I'm pushing through. I'm going to be happy when, and they're miserable in the here and now. And so as I started hearing people unpack this, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not how this works. Happiness is not a destination. And so today we're going to look at it all. We're going to unpack it so that you can help yourself not get stuck in the happiness myth. I really believe this is a American Western kind of culture thing that, commercialism, we're always getting the next thing, the best thing, the better thing. And we're thinking that's where the happiness is. And then that's where the happiness is. But honestly, it's not. And those things can be great, but they do not contain your happiness. So I'm so glad you're here to join us today. And if this is your first time to the channel, Nerdy Psychology, I'm Dr. Angel and I am your host. And we're going to break down some mental health and psychology in some practical, meaningful, and some fun ways. I ask that you hit the like button and subscribe button so that you get notifications of the show and so that you can join us on our nerdy psychology adventures. So when we are using that phrasing, I'll be happy when ... what we are essentially doing is chasing the horizon. Now, I don't know if you've ever been on a boat or been on a cruise, but I am an avid cruiser, love to get into the ocean. And so when you're out in the middle of the ocean and all you see is horizon everywhere you look, you can be going 8 hours that day on that boat. And guess what? That horizon is still at that same distance. And so when we are traveling in those spaces, the cruise boats feel like the horizon doesn't change until one day land pops up and you're in this port. But that's what we're doing when we're using this phrase. It's like we're on this boat that's just circling the globe and it's chasing a horizon that just keeps moving. It just keeps growing, and that distance is staying the same. We're not catching it. And so I just need to work harder. I just need to put more effort in. I just need to keep grinding. And we're telling ourselves this. We're working ourselves into absolute exhaustion, chasing a goalpost that keeps moving as we are going through life. And so it is a very frustrating process for so many people. And what happens is we get worn out in the process. And the thing that we've chased so hard when we get there doesn't contain the happiness that was promised when we started seeking out for it. And so we're going to open this up with what we call the hedonic adaptation. So what that means is that We adapt. When something is new and fresh, it is exciting. It gives your brain the dopamine hit. You can't wait to share it with everyone around you. Like, let's think of buying a new car for an example. When someone is like shopping for that new car and they're like thinking of all the things they want their car to do, or what color they want, or what features they want, they're like super excited. Their brain's getting tons of that dopamine, and then they purchase that car, and now it's their car. This is theirs, my car. And they can be so excited. And so now they're going to spend the next few weeks or months showing off to their family and their friends, not in a boastful way, but in a way that I am so excited. This object is mine. It's something that I really wanted, or it's something that works for me, and I'm really proud about it. And so they take good care of it. Oh, they'll take everything out when they stop and get out of the car for the day. And it's got that new, fresh purchase car smell that is just absolutely amazing. And you feel it every time you're walking in that car, except that starts to fade. And in a few months, when the new car smell starts to fade and life starts to happen, and your brain's not getting dopamine every time it's got to get in your car to take you to work, or take you to run groceries, or to do errands, or pick the kids up from school, our brain adapts. And now we have, 4-day-old French fries under the seat, and 6 drinks left in there, and piles of this and dust on it. And it's not the same as it was for us when we first had this new car. And so that is what I'm meaning by hedonistic adaptation. Our brains are wired to adapt to this new thing. So this thing that we might have spent, I don't know, weeks, months, even years thinking about or dreaming about, that was going to be this amazing thing to enhance our life, settles in, and now it just becomes part of life, and the joy wears off, and the excitement wears off, and we are now, what's the next thing? What's the thing that may bring that joy? Because that feeling is so contagious. And that, I think, is kind of how we are in the very consumer culture, where it's, I need this thing. I can't wait to, this thing is going to make my life so much better, so much better. I am going to be so happy when I have this crafting machine, or when I can take this vacation, or when I can do this thing. And we sacrifice sometimes, and we're chasing it, we're visiting it. I can tell you, there has been many instances where there was a pair of shoes I really wanted. And they were outside the budget that I would traditionally spend on shoes, but I loved these shoes, and I would visit them every time we would go to the mall. I had to stop at the store, and I had to go visit these shoes and look at them and just dream about these shoes. And they weren't really that special, but they were to me. And so one day when we were on vacation, I happened to shop in a store that had these shoes on sale, clearance. And they were like 30% of their normal price. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am going to get these shoes. Like, I spent a year visiting these shoes. Like, I love these shoes. Well, here we are years after having those shoes, and they were special, but then they got normalized into my everyday life. And yeah, they have dirt on them, and they've been worn and tattered and loved, but they don't bring me that joy when I see those shoes as they did when I was visiting them, or when I first purchased them and would wear them, and it would make me feel really good about it. And that is what's happening to all of us. And so even when we get that thing we think is going to bring us that happiness or that joy, we get there and we have it, and we do have that joy in those early moments, and then it fades, and then our brain adapts, and then our brain goes, oh, okay, this is part of our everyday life. We're good now. We can settle. And we're missing the dopamine, the feel good chemicals. And guess what? We're not feeling now happy. And we're confused. Why am I not still happy? Especially when it's a big purchase. Because, we could really sacrifice a lot for this big purchase, like a car or a house or a job promotion, something that we've worked really hard to get to. may only last a little short period of time when we actually arrive at it. And then that leaves us feeling sad and disappointed and like confused sometimes. So, why does the happiness myth leave us feeling miserable and sad and disappointed in our present moment? Well, so often there is a lot that happens when we are thinking about this thing containing my happiness. We miss all the things around us that may have some happiness in it. We're not looking here because we're so focused over there. And what's happening is it's like we aren't living our life, and we're not living our life. We're living in a pause mode. We're waiting for this thing that has what we think contains this happiness. But in the meantime, we're not enjoying the things around us or even seeing them for the most part, because that has that attention and that promise that sits inside it. And so it's kind of like you're living your life on pause, waiting for the director to go action so that you can have this thing. The problem is we don't live life on pause. We should be living our life in the here and the now. And there's definitely a big difference between having this goal and this goal containing our happiness. Like, we need to give things its space for ourselves so that we can buy back our here and our now, and so that we can buy back those moments. And so we need to stop, and we need to breathe, and we just need to take in what we have around us. I can tell you, working with people all these years, that so many people, and especially in our culture, they have so many things. Their houses are filled with things that had the promise of happiness attached to it, or the promise of this is going to make my life easier, this is going to make my life better, this is going to make me happy. And it's piled in junk drawers, and it's piled in boxes and backs of closets, and it's bursting out from the seams, and they're not being used because it didn't contain the false promise. And I dare you to just kind of look around your house. What are those things that you have that you thought, oh, if I just could get this thing, it's going to make my life easier or better. I'm going to be so happy. Just think about it in your own space, in your own world. Science tells us the more things we have, the less happy we are, because our brains are so overwhelmed, and those things don't hold happiness. Happiness comes from within us. It is how we look at the world around us, how we experience the world around us. And it's contained within our perspective, it's contained within our mindset, it's contained within us. I can take two people and we can go have a day. I like to use Disney World as this one because they have the sign that is the happiest place on earth. And I could send two people, they could have all the same things, same tickets, all unlimited meals, cut to the front of the line tickets, doesn't matter, and let them have their days. And we can come back, and one person may have like, oh, that was a lot of fun, it made me really happy. And the other person may have felt like they hated it, or like they were miserable, or they were hot. Why? It wasn't the place. It was what was inside that person. And I use Disney World because that was like a literal thing that happened with one of my kids. When my kids were little, we had Disney passes and we take the kids to Disney. And my youngest one day looked up and Disney, and he's like, I hate this place. This place stinks. And I remember thinking, but it's the happiest place on earth. At least that's what the sign said, right? But that is where it comes from. It comes from inside of us. Happiness is not contained in an object you can buy in the store. It is not contained in a number in a bank account. It is not contained in a house that we live in. Those things may make our life more pleasurable, but they don't contain our happiness. So what actually builds happiness? Dr. Angel, we're all about practical here. What builds it and sustains it? Gratitude. Notice the things around you. What's nice around you? What feels good? What do you enjoy around you? Those are the things we want to be looking for. We want to train our mind here so that we can see the things around us that we enjoy. If it's, I really enjoy this craft or hobby, or I really enjoy being able to go on long walks or picnics, or the time I get to spend with my grown children, or the time I get to spend with my spouse or partner or loved ones, or I really enjoy having a leisure meal. I don't know, but what are those things that you can find joy in the here and now? They don't have to be things that are valued or have a dollar value. They're just things that make you feel good. Look at those things. Those are the things we want to sprinkle in our days and in our weeks and our months. Those are the things in the here and now. We can have a vision for those things in the future, but we live here. And the problem is, so many of us are living here that we forget to live here, and time flies and gets away from us. So, utilizing mindfulness practices is really about just staying in this moment on purpose. I am going to just stay here as much as possible and see the things around us. It's funny, like when you shut things down and let our brain sit for just a second, like all the things we are aware of that are in our environment that we're not aware of, because we're filtering it out and we're shutting it down, and we're missing things all around us constantly. We want to take the phrasing, I'll be happy when I have this item, out of our vocabulary and use phrases of, I am happy when I live authentically. I am happy when I can communicate my needs and my wants. I am happy when I feel safe or valued. I am happy when I am being true to myself. Like, these are the things we want to reflect it in our values and not in our things. And those are really different. So, taking it down, we really want to, stay in the here and now, look around us for gratitude, and place our happiness and our values, because that is where we're going to find today's happiness. So I want you to remember, happiness is not a destination, and it is not something we can buy on a shelf. It is not something in a bank account. Happiness is in here. And if we put it out there, we will be chasing the horizon forever, and we will never catch that happiness. So I'm going to encourage you in the comments to tell us, what is your I'll be happy when story? And what's one thing you can do today to kind of rearrange the way we're thinking about our happiness? If you have found this episode to be helpful or informative in any way, we just ask that you can like, and that you can share, and that you can subscribe to this channel. That helps us out so much, and I really appreciate your support. So we are going to break the habit of chasing the horizon, and we're going to get out of the happiness myth. Till next week, stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy. That's a wrap.
Stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy.